everyone. I have with me the composition consultant, Jonathan Griffiths. So tell me, Jonathan, how you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me on. I'm doing very good. I'm enjoying the lovely British not sunshine.
I really appreciate you being on the channel. We've been trying to get this going for a while, but I've just been kind of crazy for the last few months. So it's nice to finally get this interview set up. So Jonathan is a composition consultant. He really has a strong background in bodybuilding. Now, how long have you been into bodybuilding for?
My bodybuilding journey started, I want to say around about 2011. I first competed in 2012, so quite a few years now. I've not competed every year. Some years free competitions, some years no competitions, but it's something I enjoy. I enjoy the looking back at your own progression and seeing how much you can evolve your body over time, and it's quite a it's a very niche interest which not a lot of people will fall into, which I understand, but it's allowed me to adopt lots of different ideas and garner more information over time, which has really improved my understanding as a body composition coach.
So what got you into helping other people with their body composition, as well as like so much goes along with that because you've been doing the carnivore diet now for how long?
Just over 3 years. So I started in, I want to say, January 2020. Ironically, I was actually working in a vegan health food shop. And I noticed at that time I was looking to like biohack, optimize myself. I was looking at different ways to stay leaner, build muscle, all that sort of thing. I was experiencing some digestive issues at that time as well, which is pretty much into remission now. So yeah,
Tell us about the service that you offer as a composition consultant and why exactly you decided to start applying the carnivore diet to this composition consulting, as well as wanting to just get out there and help people to begin with.
yeah, thank you. That's a very good question. My main idea around the carnivore diet is that it is the species appropriate diet. If we're looking to optimize our health outcomes, it's the best diet to follow. The reason I say that is because I don't see a lot of people falling off the carnivore diet. It seems to be quite a um, something people can follow along with. It's quite compatible with what we've done for the majority of human evolution, and it seems to really put into remission a lot of diseased states which people come to in the that are in the carnivore space. I've just been noticing time and time after again, people putting binge eating into remission. They're putting diabetes, all these health complications which would otherwise be rampant in any other kind of community online. Yeah, obviously there's different stages to it. There's like, getting whole foods in, then there's maybe paleo, then there's keto. I'd say carnivore diet is the ultimate diet for human beings. And what I also notice is that it seems to have a profound effect on people's ability to reach their satiety signals a lot easier and a lot more efficiently. So what that means for me is means when I'm coaching people, there's less to actually think about, less things to go wrong. So in essence, it has helped a lot of people. When I'm creating someone's diet plan, I'm looking at their nutritional intakes. I'm only looking at protein and fat for the most part. Different levers that you can pull for each of those macronutrients. Then, of course, we've got the side of it, which is the fact that most carnivores are only eating one to maybe five, six different foods. There's a lot less to go wrong. So yeah, for myself, it's been massive learning curve compared to my, conventional wisdom of the typical bodybuilding diet. Originally I started, I kind of had to build a pretend business for your university course. My degree's in human nutrition. So it started there. My lecturer at the time said, your brand idea is not very good. Not much a fan of your logo, your name, all these sort of things. All this, basically, this person was a bit of a naysayer, someone that just didn't like what I had to say about diet and what I thought towards like the benefits of animal foods and so on and so forth. So my big FU to the world is basically, I'm going to run with this and see how far I can take it. So far, it seems to be it's slow running. Honestly, it's slow running, but I'm making money now, which would otherwise take me many, many, many hours to actually achieve the same income doing my previous job. It's a lot more gratifying as well, knowing that you're working with people that give you good feedback. And there's that sort of symbiotic relationship where one, I'm getting more experience, I'm learning things, obviously I'm getting paid, which helps. But also they're getting the experience that I've garnered over the years. Then therefore I can improve their physique, improve their health outcomes, and it all comes together to make a perfect symphony of benefits for all of us. So
So what steered you in this direction?
I come from a background where I was volunteering at a palliative care cancer ward, and I saw people time and time again would come and go. You know, people that went there wouldn't be there past about the 1 to 2 week mark. That was it for them, sadly. But I noticed a lot of those disease states, illnesses that it had, could have been put into remission, or at least reduced in terms of like the symptoms, if they followed a proper diet. Now, I'm looking at it from the point of epidemiology in terms of what we know about the populations. And it seems to be that I'm not someone that's going to be able to massively change the world. I'm not going to get rid of all the diseases and all, you know, it's not something I have the capacity to do. What I can do is start to improve health for individuals. This is something I like to do. So, you know, you can have a big impact on a few people, and that can transpire further down the line to others. So, people that I'm coaching and consulting with, speaking with, that can effectively really make a big dent in it. You know, if I can, for example, I mean, looking back in time, I met my partner, Sophie, who you also know, and that was roughly 1 year. She'll probably kill me, 2 months ago, something like that, 1 year, 1 month ago.
Yeah.
And she has 2 children. And what I've basically done is I've changed her way of eating to improve her next 50, 60, 70, 80 years of her lifespan.
Absolutely.
The 2 children that she has as well, even her family and friends have started to sort of cotton on, there's something to this. So, you know, lead by example, then it carries on and carries on. And that's just one person. Nowadays, when I go into the restaurants with my family, or talk to my mum about different foods that I'm eating and what she should eat, they ask me now, they say, "Oh, what do you think is a good idea? What's the healthiest thing on the menu?" Then I can sort of say, well, this is why, in my opinion. They might not always choose that option, but at least they have that information. And I think information that they can then pass on to the next person, that's very valuable. So that's kind of why I've got into it, you know, to help people and to really reinforce the fact that we can change our health outcomes and our physique at the same time. It's not a genetic factor. You know, that's just kind of like, you know, the phrase like loading the gun and pulling the trigger. You know, you don't have to rely on the fact that your genetics are in such a way. You know, I've met people with terrible genetics, honestly, that you think, wow, their family are always going to be overweight, but it's not necessarily true. There are ways and things you can do to mitigate that.
I agree. I think genetics, I have hypothyroidism. My mother had hypothyroidism. To a certain degree, that plays in my opinion, a factor. How much? I think it's actually pretty small. I think more of the issue is the poor eating habits we learn from our parents' generation. Everything from maybe binge eating or just the junk food. If our parents are always eating out at restaurants, my parents didn't eat out a lot, but I still learned some pretty unhealthy eating habits. My dad's not a big guy, but he used to binge eat, and he would uh, eat super fast. He wouldn't chew his food, and I learned that, right? And we learn to walk, and we get our gait often from our parents. And I think the same thing happens with our food choices and our health choices. You know, when you have two parents that are active and physically fit, and they watch their nutrition, I think that passes along to the next generation. And I can't wait to see when you're helping these adults with the carnivore diet, when what's going to happen with this younger generation that's actually going to move forward and not have all these complications. Because lots of these complications people get in their 40s and 50s and 60s started in their 30s quite often, sometimes even in their 20s. I've had high cholesterol since my 20s. So to be able to help people and to prevent that road uh, that people might go down, it's got to just be amazing.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, obviously, I'm a bodybuilder. My logo itself is a bodybuilder, but the people I work with are all over the map, you know, very big and very small people, and people that are in the middle. So it's not the case that I only train like bodybuilders or professional athletes. It's funny you mentioned about how it goes down the line, like down the flow chart in terms of, you know, mum and dad to the children sort of thing. I mean, Sophie was doing a workout today. Sophie's limited in her workouts because she can't leave the baby on her own. So baby was taken outside on her, you know, chair, where it's like where she eats food basically. She had a dumbbell in her hand and she's just watching her mum do a workout. That's going to give her the idea from a young age. And it's not that I'm saying children have to work out or people have to work out. That's 10-15% of the outcomes you might get. But saying that, I think evolving as a young person into an adult, it's very beneficial to see that in terms of your role models. And even Tilly, she's 6 years old soon. Um, Nowadays, if we ask her what to eat first, she says the meat, the protein, that sort of thing. Is quite sweet, really.
Yeah.
Before, 5, 6, 7 months ago, she might have said, all the broccoli or the vegetables, but now she knows better. She understands that there's a hierarchy of food that she needs to go through in order to get the lesser food, so to speak.
Why don't you tell us the process of how you typically start a consultation with someone when they're choosing to take up you for your services?
That's a very good question. Yes. So, what ideally I like people to do is consult me first. There's something about human interaction which you just don't get through text. I get a lot of messages day in, day out, hi, Jonathan, I'm a bit unsure about this, or I'm stuck on this. It's very hard to give people the correct information just off the top of your hat, unless it's a piece of factual advice like, what color is the sky blue, when it comes to like diet, nutrition, health, physique, these are important things that people do care about.
And
So
they're
I'm not someone that's happy to give people off the cuff advice, at least not without a consultation where I'm able to actually pinpoint what's going on, the background, the history, so on and so forth. So yes, the process is just going to a website, which is compositionconsultant.com. I have pretty good availability. I mean, at this time, it's probably something like 8 till 10 p.m. Sorry, 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. So, I do try to cover time zones across the globe. Obviously, I can't do middle of the night because I'll be hypocritical towards my own advice and, being health conscious and get your circadian rhythms right. So, yeah, my availability is good for the most part. It's
yeah.
affordable as well. I've mapped it all out and done like the which got the tally charts, and it seems to be it's like the middle of my day anyway, so it's not a big deal. And I get all sorts of people from over the globe. So
Is there anything else you'd like to highlight about your consulting?
yes, so a consultation is the best way to go. I think for anyone that has some very tricky questions that need answers and solid answers, book a consultation. Honestly, the amount of value you get from those is unreal. I'm not just saying that because it's me who's selling it, but the fact is, it is solid information. It's based on years of experience. You know, I've got different certifications to my name. I've spoken to lots of different people with very different health outcomes and different sort of physical start points. So it's the value in that is very, very, very good. The other things I offer are a pay monthly online Facebook group. That's effectively called the Carnivore Crew. It's a body composition focused group on Facebook, which aims to improve the training performance, the body composition of people on the carnivore diet or even animal based. The point is that's what it's focused on. That's affordable as well.
Yeah.
Then I've got the coaching services, also very affordable. My next nearest competitor in terms of similar skill set and experience is 2.5 to 3 times more expensive than I am. So yeah, the value is very good, and I am attentive to my coaching clients. I don't leave them waiting. I don't tell them just to trust the process or anything like that. Everything gets a solid answer. If you got a question, it'll get an answer basically, and it's very well thought out. And I'm very careful about the advice I give out, of course. Does the other things I offer diet and training plans, which are just a one-off thing. I suggest people book a consultation prior to those, but effectively for those sort of things, the coaching, the diet and training plans, you get a client intake form, you fill it out as best you can, then you'll get a diet and training plan to follow along whatever you've purchased. So yeah, it is tremendous value and it is useful for a lot of people.
And I think the interesting thing to keep in mind is we've learned for decades. I'm pushing 50, and a lot of my viewers are in their 40s and 50s. And guys might turn around and think, well, they rely on what they knew maybe in their teens and 20s when they used to work out. And it's been a lot of years, and they have to go into it slow. And lots of women are worried about working out because they don't want to get big and bulky. And they think cardio is king. And people are starting to turn their mindset, especially women, starting to turn their mindset on the benefits of weight training for a more athletic build, because that's what people want when they get on the elliptical. They want to look fit. They don't want to just lose weight. They want to look fit, but they're going about it wrong. So this is a service that's beneficial for both men and women, and especially people who need to get back in touch with being more in shape. You're working with Sophie, your partner. She's still getting off her pregnancy weight. Amazing job, because I've been watching her progress all this time. Like, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, my approach with Sophie is to maintain and build as much muscle mass as possible while still just tapping away at the body fat,
Yes.
whilst also making her life little little amount of stress as possible. You know, it's the easiest possible process she can do. She's never starving hungry. She's never like cutting back. She's never like not eating. There's no sort of like severe stuff with her diet,
Yeah.
but she's slowly but surely getting more and more benefit from it. And she's honestly the she has now this growth mindset, which is incredible. I don't see this with many people, and as soon as you start seeing people understand how to train and how to diet and what sort of things to look at with your nutrition, it's very inspiring, because you think this, you know, Sophie, she's not a she didn't go to university. She's quite an average lady in terms of like her academia. Um, you know, she's a mum of two, but she's managed to gain all this information from people like myself and people that I speak to online.
She's walking the walk as well as talking the talk. She knows, she understands what she's doing. It's really nice. Some people just want to go through the motions, and that's great if they want to. But you know, they're like, point me in this direction, tell me what to do, and I want to touch base in a month. But like, she's just like a sponge with all this information.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah, thanks a lot. I really appreciate the time you've given me on this channel, Jonathan. And I hope everyone can tune in again soon, because we're going to have Jonathan back for another interview. So please tune in. Thanks a lot and take care.